3 traits that women find irresistible. Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. Today I'm talking about 3 traits that women find irresistible. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about, the first trait that women find irresistible, is when a guy or a girl, depending on who you are, depending on what your sexuality is and all that, because I know I have a very, very wide, broad audience of a lot of different people. So the first trait is that you know how to look after yourself and basically do the basic things to be able to look after yourself. Because I feel like mothers do a really disservice to their boys by not teaching them how to actually look after themselves sometimes. I'm not saying it's always the case, because it seems, I don't know what it is, but it seems quite common that some guys, I'm not saying that this is you, but I'm just saying that this is something that I do think is quite common. Their mothers have really done them a disservice by not showing them simple basic things like how to load a dishwasher, how to use a dishwasher, how to, how to use a washing machine, how to cook a good meal for themselves, something healthy that's not just, like super noodles or something, or ramen, right? And also like basic things like and how to clean, and I know like typically like a long time ago, in the 1950s or whatever, it was the more female role to do all these kinds of things. But even then, I feel like the guys then knew how to do basic stuff. Now, even though the role fell on the women to do those kinds of things, because let's be honest, things were a lot more tougher for women back then, because of how vulnerable women tend to be, with the fact that they menstruate, the fact that women, have to look after, small children, and generally it was the guys going out to work and it was the women looking after the household. So the women would do the household things, like washing, cleaning, looking after the kids, whatever. But we don't live in that kind of world anymore. A lot of the time in a regular household, both parents work. Now, it's not, like I said, it's not always the case, but that's generally how the Western world is now. Both parents work, and they both have to share responsibilities of the household. And I see a lot of women disappointed. I've talked to one of my friends about this, and she's with a guy who she kind of has to tell what to do. Like, she has to say, can you do this? Can you do that? Because he simply doesn't know how to look after himself. And it kind of really makes the women less attracted to their male boyfriends and husbands, because they're having to be the mummy to them and showing them how to turn on the dishwasher, how to do these things, how to look after yourself, basically, how to do these like basic household chores. And it's really sad because, and I mean sad as in like actually sad, and not sad as in like, wow, you're really sad. I don't mean like it's pathetic. I mean that it's just sad. Like, it really is sad, because the women that guys date don't really want to have that kind of role. It makes them feel like a mummy instead of, their sexual romantic lover, and obviously the women want to feel like the romantic lover. They don't want to have to take on the role as the guy's mother, as well as the mother to potentially children as well. So if you know how to do these basic things, basic household chores, you're going to be way ahead of a lot of guys, because usually especially if you're young, because usually when guys do leave their parents, they don't know how to do these basic things. And usually what happens is the guy is living with his parents, he gets a girlfriend and then moves in with the girlfriend. And there hasn't been any time in between where they could live on their own and learn how to do these things for themselves. So if you are, for whatever reason, a mother watching this and you've got a son, teach him how to look after himself. Teach him how to do these things, because that's what's going to help him. Don't treat him like a baby. As soon as he's able to, show him how to load the dishwasher. Show him how to clean after himself, to iron his clothes, to, look after. And it might be the case that he does meet a wife who will do all these things for him. But a lot of the time, these days, in the day and age that we live in, he has to be able to do these things with the woman. Like, they have to be able to share these responsibilities, because these responsibilities now are more evened out. It's more of a 50-50 thing. So if you are a mother watching this, please teach your son how to do the basic stuff, because his girlfriend, his wife, is going to feel less romantically attracted to him if she's having to do all of his things like what his mother did. You know, it just makes common sense that a woman wouldn't be attracted to a guy who she's having to treat like another child and another son. So teach him the basic stuff. And if you're a guy watching this and you're kind of worried now because maybe you don't know how to do some of these things, you know, find out how to do it. You know, learn how to do it on your own. And if you're in a relationship, do not ask your wife how to do these things, because she doesn't want to teach you, because it's going to make her feel like your mum. And that's going to really make her feel not very attracted to you. And obviously you want your wife, your girlfriend, to be attracted to you. So learn how to do these things on your own. You know, you can find quick YouTube tutorials on how to, you know, you can even find like the actual washing machine that's in your house on you in a YouTube tutorial. You know, so type in the model of the washing machine, and find a tutorial on how to use it. And usually you can find like a PDF manual of these things as well on Google. You know, you can find out how to do these things, and it's not difficult. Once you've done it a few times, it's really, really easy. So work out how to do these things for yourself. There's lots of tutorials that can show you, that can teach you, that can coach you on those things. So if you know how to like look after yourself, and you have a job, and you can financially look after yourself, you know how to take care of yourself, you know how to clean your own clothes, cook decent meals for yourself, can do household chores, you know, all those kinds of things. You're financially independent, you're standing on your own 2 feet. That's really, really going to help when you are in the dating world and you are talking to women that you really like. They're going to love the fact that you can actually take care of yourself. And like I said, like, it might be the case that she may want to do those things for you and you won't have to do those things for you. But we do live in a world that is a lot more 50-50 now, so you at least must know how to do these things. Because it might be the case, like, you find a relationship, you're in a relationship, and the woman is happy to do these things for you, but she might get sick. And if she gets sick and she can't do these things, then you're going to have to take on those roles for a little bit until she gets better. So it's important that you actually at least know how to do these things. So when she does get poorly and she can't do these things, you can take control of it, take the reins, and start doing it. Another quick basic thing as well is just having, you know, the initiative. Like, if you see a sink full of washing up, just do it, right? If you think that the floor looks untidy, just clean it. Like, it's not going to take long. If there's a pile of clean laundry on the stairs that need to be taken up, just take it up. It might be the case that she doesn't want you to do these things, like I said, and she's happy to do these things for you, but you at least must know how to do these things. And I think mothers are doing a great disservice to their sons and to any of their children, basically, who they're not teaching these basic life skills to. So the second trait that a woman will find irresistible is leadership, right? If you can display leadership qualities and decisiveness. So a basic example of this is, if you ask a girl out, don't ask her what she wants to do. Don't say, what would you like to do? Which restaurant do you want to go to? Don't ask her what to do. Be decisive and make the plans. Be decisive and say, how about we meet at this restaurant? You know, if she doesn't like it for whatever reason, she will say, because sometimes, you know, it might be the case, especially if you're living in the same area, she may have gone to that restaurant and had a bad experience, or knows a lot of people there and she doesn't want to go there. You know, sometimes that can happen, but most of the time she would just be happy to go along with the plans that you make. And the reason why women are more attracted to leaders is because women, especially if they're very feminine, tend to be a lot more indecisive. They want to be a follower. They want to follow your lead. A basic example of this is that, you know, sometimes it takes a woman, and I know this in my own life because my wife is very feminine, where I'm a lot more masculine. It takes her like ages to pick out an outfit. She usually has like a few choices that she needs to mull over and decide. you know, and it takes her ages. Like, it could take her up to an hour to decide on what to wear, on getting ready and things like that. Whereas for me, it takes me like less than like 15 minutes to get ready to go out and things like that. Like, it doesn't take very long for me, whereas because I'm more decisive, like I know what I want. Whereas my wife is a bit more unsure, is a little bit more indecisive. And it's the same for heterosexual relationships. You know, typically it's the female, the feminine woman, who takes a long time to decide on things, whereas the male, you know, is a lot more decisive and can pick things really quickly. And, you know, that's just how those personalities tend to play out. So if you're a man watching this, you know, be the leader, be more decisive. You know, if you're the more masculine one, you need to be the one that's the leader. So if you're deciding on where to go out, you know, just pick somewhere and say, how about we go here? You know, it's okay to like ask that, you know, how about we go here? How about we meet at this restaurant? You know, stuff like that. But be the one that chooses these things. And if she wants an alternative, she'll bring it up. But most of the time, she'll be just happy to go along with it. And, you know, in relationships, you know, also be the one to make the decisions, be the one that's decisive. So let's say you've got like a few TVs that you are wanting to buy. You know, don't ask her, you know, which one do you think is best? You know, because most of the time she'll just say, I don't know, what do you think? And so you be the one to pick. You be the one that's the leader. Be the one that goes first. Be the one that makes the decisions. You know, it might be the case that you're not always the one making all of the decisions, but most of the time, it will fall upon you to be the leader and to be the one that makes the choices. Do not look to your woman for leadership, because that's what little boys do to their mummy. You know, they want the mummy to make all the choices for them. Again, this goes back to women not wanting to be your mother and having to make all your decisions, making all of like the leadership choices. You should be the leader. You should be the one that makes the choices. Don't look to her for leadership, because if you're looking to her for leadership, you are wanting her to be the more masculine one. And if she has to be the more masculine one for you, and she's really feminine at her heart, the sexual attraction for you is just gonna dissipate, right? It's just gonna disappear. It's gonna evaporate. Now, it may be the case that she sometimes does make a choice. She does sometimes have to take on the leadership role. But let's say like 80 to 90% of the time, you should be the one who is the leader and who's making the decisions and who's being decisive. The third trait that women find irresistible is basically just general humor and basically not taking yourself too seriously. Now, I know a lot of people probably might not believe this, but women don't tend to actually go for the one that they are most attracted to, and they don't generally go for the one who's the most rich, the one who's the most wealthy, the one who has the highest status, right? Generally, actually, they go for the one that makes them feel best, that gives them the most positive emotions. And of course, the way you can do that is by, you know, being funny, by being humorous, by being playful, by making her feel the most positive emotions. You know, because she might date a guy who is really wealthy, but she might feel really negative around him because he is a negative person. Whereas she might go on a date with someone like you, and let's say you are someone who isn't like ultra wealthy, but it's kind of like normal, basically, like on the normal status level. And you might not even be as good looking as the rich guy, right? But because you're the one that gives her the most positive emotions and she feels the best when she's around you, she is more likely, let's say like 9 times out of 10, gonna be picking you, because she wants to be the one with the one who makes her feel the most safe, the one that makes her feel the most comfortable, the one who doesn't take himself so seriously and makes her laugh. If you would like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye, guys.